Okay, take 3. I realize those are really dark, but bear with me. Alright, here's where I'm at. I don't know where I can stash you. So, they talk about how they think that from the beginning of our relationship, I've been trying to separate Mr. F from his family, and what crap that is. Okay, I think I touched on that. I mean, really, to the core of me, that's so... Honestly, it's almost disrespectful of how much work and effort and time I put into trying to create a relationship, and I know it's crap because I even had a big discussion after kid was born, and I wrote this letter all about how, like, you know, I didn't feel welcome. I mean, who does that if you're trying to separate? I mean, it's just crazy. Alright, on top of all that, they listed a whole bunch of grievances, including the fact that I wasn't thankful enough for a set of coasters I received 7 years ago. I assure you that I wrote a thank you note. I pretty much always wrote thank you notes nonstop until baby was born. And I am sure I said thank you. I mean, really. I don't know how thankful someone needs to be for coasters. And I'm pretty sure giving a gift is about giving. And I'm not sure how much it matters whether I needed the coasters or not. You know, I mean, like, it's just craziness. It's coasters, people, coasters. I don't even know what coasters we're talking about, but... So, other things that, I'm disrespectful to my husband. I'm sure we all know that. And you can see how unhappy we are. It's just kooky. But essentially, what else? I mean, yes, I mean a laundry list of things that for years they've been keeping tally. And then Mr. F kept saying, like, well, if you don't like her, don't you think she probably picks up on that, and that's why it's a difficult situation? And they're like, it's not that we don't like her. No, I'm sorry, it is that you don't like me. That equals not liking somebody, and that's fine. You don't need to like me, and I don't need to like you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can just agree to disagree, pretty much. But, yeah, you don't like me. That's what that is. And yes, I pick up on it. And after 7 years of trying very hard to constantly try to have it get better or be bearable or even be enjoyable, I stopped. And so for the last couple of years, yes, I don't go out of my way to be, you know, pretending that I'm having a good time, I guess. Because honestly, I mean, I've said to everyone's faces, like, this is terrible, let's work on it, and nobody wants to join me in that upward battle, you know, and so what do you want me to do? I'm not rude, I'm just disengaged, and there's a difference. I'm just not pretending that it's great. I'm just trying to make it through the visits without, you know, crying or whatever, you know what I mean? It's very different to being me, you know, and than being them, you know, their interpretation of what I'm doing is completely opposite of what's really going on inside. So there's that. Also, other weird, strange things. I mean, I guess the big thing for them is that Mr. F is different to them. They remember him being in his 20s. That's kept on being referenced. He's 40, people. He is 40 years old. Thank God he's different. Thank God. And I think it's just crazy. I mean, what a weird... if anything, it just shows how distant they really were, that their last remembrance of, like, knowing him was in his 20s. We didn't even meet until he was in his 30s, people. You know, like, I probably didn't have a whole lot to do with that change. I might be a reflection of the change that he made of himself, and that might be uncomfortable, but please, I mean, we all know that it's next to impossible to really try to change your partner. So that's pretty much where it's at. So they came, they offered a clean slate. I don't call that a clean slate. I don't call coming into someone's home when they're not here to rip them a new one behind their back cleaning a slate. If you want to come and discuss things to me and try to form a new way to work through the conflict, that's something, but that is not what happened. So, and what is so kind of sad about the whole thing is that they just don't get it. I mean, none of them get it. They really think that I'm just completely in the wrong and that they didn't do anything. When I really feel violated. I really do. I mean, I know I've got a public blog, people, but, you know, when you find out, and anyone who has a blog and has had anything like this happen, you know exactly how I feel. When you find out someone who you didn't want to read your blog has been reading it and has been doing it secretly and been doing it intentionally to find out information about you so that they can pass more judgment, I mean, it's violating. So I don't see how I can have a clean slate with people who I don't trust and who purposefully try to spy on me. I mean, honestly, do you think I want the people who I don't relate to most reading about my innermost feelings and thoughts about my life and my family? I think not. So I'm not sure how they walk away from this whole thing with their hands perfectly clean and I'm the one who's, you know, completely out of line. Honestly. I say the few posts ever written about them are nothing compared to the hundreds of posts that they were reading. Really, clearly. Not with the intention to get to know me better, but with the intention to have more fuel on their fire, you know what I mean? So that's where I stand, people. And hilariously, this is also funny. Putty! They're like one of their examples of how he's changed his dad. When we moved to Michigan, he used to be the human map, and then he didn't know, and you know, he used to defer to me for directions. And he was like, "She's from Michigan." I mean, it was just crazy. And here's the really sad thing. I'd be happy for them to have a relationship with my kids, but they really don't make an effort to have a relationship with the kids. They never called them that whole time. They don't call them, or, you know, like, they don't try to have a relationship with their grandkids, our children's grandkids. So, and I'm in no way standing in the way of that, just to make that clear. And also, to make it clear, I am no longer sending cards or buying gifts. Mr. F's relationship with his family is 100% his own responsibility now, and any lack thereof at this point is a reflection on him. While I know that to his extended family and his parents, whatever, they'll probably think I'm holding him back. That is not the case. I am just no longer holding his hand. So, that's clear. Alright, check.